I think we're live. We should be getting some notifications. Again, I say this every
Oh
week.
yeah.
I
Oh
need to
yeah.
just pre-record a little video so when we go live, I can hit play and say the same thing over and over.
This is funny. We are live and I know the Twitter notification, but I'm still seeing the little number at 0.
Oh, no, it just jumped. 8. We have 8
Oh,
whole people.
oh, it's jumping. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
climbing.
yeah.
You know, I I'm glad there's some people here. That's good.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
pro-
we don't have to just talk to ourselves.
it's probably a good night for there not to be a whole lot of people because I got to tell you, my faith in humanity is not very high this week, especially this afternoon.
Having a testy day, are we?
There are some real dirt bags that live among us. You know that? I
Yes,
mean,
there are. Especially
there's
when it
some
comes to property rights.
there are some of you out there that you're dirt bags. And
Yeah.
I only wish I would have listened to a few people in the past that told me about some people and how sorry they were, and I just didn't believe them, and I gave the people the benefit of the doubt, only to find out later that what they were saying about those people was 100% accurate, that they are certifiable dirt bags.
Well, yeah, you do learn that about people. I mean, everybody can make a mistake every now and then, but some people just don't have a good moral compass, and they don't respect property rights at all.
No. Selfish, self-centered, greedy, sorry, no good son of a bitches. That's what we'll say.
Yeah, all right. Welcome to everybody that's going to watch tonight. So, honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, we'll talk about the city council meeting and the resulting chicken situation. I want to know about this parking lot report that seems to be a mystery. And, of course, we're going to talk about LSU football and the governor. And have you seen this battle between Fleming and Miguez? It is over the stupidest drama.
It's ridiculous, and I had a good conversation with somebody that's a political wonky person that they kind of know the inside on stuff. They're in the thing, and we got to talking about this subject matter, and they said, here's the thing: Republicans have not seen or had a good knife fight between them since Vitter, Angel, and Darden. You really hadn't seen a good knife fight since then,
Right.
and I I think we're having that now, and it's detestable to me because I got friends on every side of this thing, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing come out of some of these people.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk and give our 2 cents about that, and then again about the whole LSU football situation. And look, full disclosure, folks, before we go to the break, I mean, I watch college football every now and then. I watch NFL football every now and then when there's like nothing else to watch. So I'm an LSU fan, but I'm not a fanboy of football, per se. And so I see this whole situation as ridiculous too. But maybe you can
Well,
correct me. Maybe you can educate me.
no, I think it's ridiculous as well too. But again, a lot of our friends have taken some positions that I think they are wrong. They think I'm wrong. I just want to talk about it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to the break. For the folks that are watching, y'all know that this means this is your popcorn and mix you a stiff drink time. Also, tag and share out and see if you can help us get a few more folks watching so we can have some other people to ramble on to while y'all are listening intently. Hey, one more quick thing. So I was looking at some of our stats. Did you know that more people are watching us on TV screens like Fire Sticks and Rokus than any other device?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, kind of interesting. So I was digging into some of the stats. But anyway, I'll go ahead and hit the button. Folks, we'll be back in about, 2.5, 3 minutes or whatever. and we'll get to rambling on. I am going to hit the button in 3, 2, 1.
A lot of the back office on the politicians that they think walk on water, they would be shocked. You know, there's an old wound from a knife in my back that just is giving me heck lately, and it's just really irritating, so I have to kind of wiggle around a little bit.
I titled it "A Shot Across the Bow of the Good Old Boys."
Just, you know, they feel helpless, they don't feel heard, they have nowhere to turn.
Some Republicans as well believe that government has the answers. And let me tell y'all something. I don't know anything government does well. Nothing.
Aren't there laws that say that you have public meetings so that the public can have accountability of their elected officials?
As a member of the media, I'm very concerned about what I've just heard.
Well, I'm not thinking Star Wars at all. I'm thinking zombie apocalypse. Oh, folks coming from the border down there?
Yeah, it's going to border. It's actually going to Mexico, the buses.
Doesn't mean they interpret it the same way that I do. For instance, the Second Amendment. I take it very literally. That's been interpreted different ways in the court system all the way up to SCOTUS.
We're still right now combined on both pages and YouTube at 264 people watching. That is amazing, folks. Through conscious, shocking actions, which in turn would enrich sitting city council members Scott Irwin and David Montgomery Jr. In theory, you know, it's an every week thing. We got to double check and make sure it's like a miracle any of this actually works. This live broadcast is brought to you by the Outdoor News, fishing and outdoors for our area. Acadiana Mortgage, over 25 years in the mortgage business. Pelican Training and Consulting. Reach out to Julie Ferris. Smarter Geek, making technology easier. And folks sharing information and watching out. Now, grab your popcorn and a drink. Here we go. Did you know that exceedingly unfortunate Facebook reel, which is, you know, it's only a minute long or whatever, is at something like 70,000 views? Let me pull that thing up. What is it? 68,468 views on Facebook. It is far and away blown away anything we've ever put out, content-wise. I don't know what it is. People keep commenting on that thing, and apparently they don't like Richard Wray.
That is exceedingly unfortunate.
Yes, it is. And some more stats. The the city council has had more and more people watching their YouTube feed, which is a good thing. Watching live and then after the fact. But we posted one of their videos that I transcribed, one of their city council meetings. It's at 20-something thousand views. So I'm just saying. All right. And to let everybody know, Mr. Lowry may have to take a phone call here in a little bit for a little personal business. So you might have to listen to me ramble for a minute while he's busily texting away or whatever. Let's see. Let's get a couple of comments in here. So first of all, hey, appreciate everybody watching. Cindy says she watches on YouTube, but it's always behind Facebook. Yeah, there's a few seconds difference in that. One thing I want to remind everybody, speaking of that, and then we'll actually get on with some real content, is Facebook deletes the live shows after 30 days. They started this not quite a year ago. They started it in 2025. YouTube, all the shows are archived on YouTube and remain there under the live tab. Eventually, I may re-upload all the shows or certain popular shows back to Facebook. I don't know. It takes a little bit of time, and I'd have to be really bored one day to do that. But anyway, so just putting that out there for those of you that are watching on Facebook. After 30 days, these live shows go away and the comments. So go on over and click on to YouTube as well. And subscribe to us on YouTube while you're there. All right. So what shall we talk about, Mr. Lowry? Are you in a position where you can talk, or are you taking care of your little issue there?
Well, actually, I'm getting some information on this Fleming Miguez thing
Oh,
is actually what's coming my way here.
yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a second. I mean, we'll kind of go out of order for a second, and I'll let you cut in and share whatever information. But here's let me give you my quick rundown for everybody if you're not familiar with this. So, of course, um, John Fleming, our current state treasurer, is running against Senator Bill Cassidy, who a whole lot of us have lots of issues with Bill Cassidy and don't particularly like him very much. Well, then State Senator Blake Miguez jumped in, and look, I'm a pretty good fan of Blake Miguez too. I really don't have anything against Blake Miguez. Now, I believe Julie Emerson has jumped in the race, and then um, um, there's maybe one or two other candidates running. But anyway, so they're the three main candidates, but Fleming and Miguez are obviously the front runners right now. And this brouhaha, this drama has been stirred up because Fleming, and again, I really like Dr. Fleming and support him wholeheartedly, especially because of his stance on the term limits. But he has been running that he is the one candidate completely against carbon capture. Now, the Miguez side has put out a video from, I guess it was a town hall meeting or whatever it was, where somebody addressed kind of in a gotcha deal, but whatever, that's fair, about a vote that Fleming did while he was in the U.S. Congress, purporting that that was supporting carbon capture, and so therefore he's being a little hypocritical. Now, I've looked at both sides. I don't think Fleming's being hypocritical because the vote wasn't really funding or supporting carbon capture per se. So, but it is kind of a gotcha deal, and I guess no, I haven't seen the full meeting video, but apparently he didn't have a great response even on the unedited video because he wasn't familiar with that particular vote right offhand. But then you look at the Miguez side, well, Blake hasn't really come out staunchly against carbon capture, and like many of the politicians in Baton Rouge that enabled carbon capture with a few votes a couple of years ago, some of those we've had Danny McCormick on. Who else have we had on? What's the other guy's name? We just interviewed him a couple of weeks ago. I'm having a complete mind blank.
Oh, me as well too. Well, I mean, look,
anyway, they've come out against the carbon capture, Miguez hadn't. So go ahead, Mr. Lowry.
Well, the thing I was going to say is here's the thing. How you vote. I mean, if you go down there and you make a bad vote, I mean, you've got to own it. It doesn't matter. You have to own how you vote. And just my problem is not that these guys cast votes. I mean, we had McCormick, we had one of the other legislators, and I think it's the case with all of them. They voted because they thought or they were thinking that this thing was going to be good, or or they didn't see the risk in it, and they voted the way they thought was best. And it turns out maybe that wasn't the case, that it wasn't in the best interest of everybody. I mean, and you get this eminent domain thing.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says if you voted for it, and this includes my good friend Danny McCormick, and I love Danny to death. Those were bad votes by Danny. And and look, when this, Rex, when I ran for the legislature, that's what I said. I said, you know what? If I don't have the time, if we're moving legislation through so freaking fast that we don't have time to completely analyze the legislation and to know exactly what we're voting on, and we're having to depend on third parties to tell us that this is good or bad, and then you know what? We're moving too fast. We need to slow the process down. We need to limit the amount of legislation that's flowing through, because you're putting out a bad product.
Right.
And I still stand by that to this day. And this carbon capture thing is it is an example of that bad product. and the votes are what they are, and everybody who voted on it, I mean, you've got to own it, and you and to the point, I'm not attacking Blake here on this, because I think he voted just like Danny and the rest of them, probably, that he was just going along. But my issue on that one is I haven't heard him say, you know what, I'm against I'm against eminent domain. I hadn't heard him out there doing that. And my problem ain't with the candidates so much as it is the partisans, because I'm hearing, friends, people who have been on this show, calling the people from one camp or the other, calling them liars, calling them horrible people and deceitful people and all that stuff. I mean, look, I ain't saying I'm perfect, because I've damn sure said somebody was a liar or a bad person or whatever. I said it at the start of the show, talking about somebody, thinking of someone, but the point of the matter is that, I mean, one of these people are going to have to be the person to potentially be the next U.S. senator. And you're saying these are both good people. Right. Fleming and Miguez, they're good people, both of them. And
yeah, look,
seems to me one side has devolved to name calling already.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it a million times. We've had Blake on the show. He's a great guy. He is a gun guy. That is my litmus test for everybody from dog catcher or RPEC member on up, is what's your stance on gun rights? I don't care if you have any influence as a politician over gun rights or the lack thereof.
Are you carrying now?
I am carrying. Well, I'm not carrying in my back pocket, but my 45 was within 18 inches of me.
So you missed the opportunity. You missed it. See, Ryan Haygood said Adam Bass played the gotcha game with Mills on your show. It was also very disingenuous. And I teed it up for you. I said, are you carrying now? And you should have said, well, does that make you uncomfortable, Duke?
I completely forgot about that, but it was a great moment in that debate. Look, whether you're an Adam Bass fan or a Robert Mills fan, Robert didn't handle that question very well.
No, that
and it was a gotcha.
That little interaction was, that was the kind of thing that the debate like we do brings out. I mean, it brings out that interaction between the people and the person, and that's what voters want to see. They want to see what they don't want. Yeah, I'm pro Second Amendment. Yeah, I'm against abortion.
Softball after softball after softball after softball.
Yeah, they're tired of that crap, and the partisans in this race. I mean, they've got the knives out, and we've got some of the links. I don't know if you're wanting to go up to someone. I want to kind of go through some of them, definitely, and show people what we're talking about.
Well, let me switch over to Scott McKay's post first. I was digging because I had the wrong link in the show notes, but let me switch over to that, and we'll just start with that one if you don't mind, and then we can go to whichever ones you have and all that. But let me hit the button here and see if this does correctly. Okay, and I realize, folks, that this is probably small and y'all can't read it, but this is a post from Scott McKay, and generally we like Scott. We've had him on the show. He's a good guy and agree with the vast majority of his politics, but he is on Team Miguez side, and that's fine. But he does say, and I want to get folks, get your commentary. I'm going to read it here because, again, I know it's a little small, but he said, and this is Scott saying, but here's the thing. It's a niche issue that most ordinary voters don't care about. They really don't. I know there are people very torqued up about it, but most people will give you blank stares when you start talking about it. It doesn't move votes. He's talking about carbon capture and sequestration. Now, we live in a little bubble here, Mr. Lowry. We've talked about this before. We have a skewed perspective. We're both pretty in tune with politics most of the time, and we just assume everybody else is. Most of the folks watching the show and commenting are pretty in tune with politics, but that's not necessarily what the average voter is in tune with. So I'm going to ask you and ask the audience, Is Scott McKay right? Is this just an issue that most people aren't going to care about, or is the carbon capture boondoggle, in my opinion, is it worthy of real debate among voters? Or are people actually going to discuss this? What say you, Mr. Lowry?
I mean, look, Scott McKay is right on a lot of things, but I have to completely full-throated disagree with Scott McKay's read on this one. I think he's wrong. I think when you start talking about eminent domain and taking people's property rights and things like that away from people, whether it's directly affecting you or not, that gets people's attention. And I mean, look, Landry is getting tuned up. We've talked about it. Landry's getting tuned up over it more so than anybody. And I don't. People are going to say you're carrying Jeff's water. Well, maybe I am, but my point is give Jeff the shots that he deserves. On the carbon sequestration thing in the eminent domain. Yeah, he's the governor. He has the power to veto. He's warranted getting a shot or two, but don't dismiss all of the legislators and their votes. They deserve equally the shots. And to the point of the votes that Miguez has made, like a lot of the legislators that made bad votes on this stuff, to date, I don't know that the only person that's really been dragging Miguez about it is Doc Fleming and saying something about it. Now, an argument can be made about whether it's smart or not to be attacking Miguez on his votes on carbon capture because it alienates him from all of the other legislators. And, that's a political strategy point. But has Fleming made the case? Has he made it? Has he made it in a way to say that Blake Miguez is a horrible person? He's a bad person. He's evil. He's, all that. I haven't seen that. I got to tell you, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I hadn't really seen that either. And, everybody's trying to stir the pot as much as they can. And that's what the political punditry does. Look, including us sometimes. Everybody's got their little platform and their little fiefdom and all that. But I have not heard Fleming say or post or whatever that Miguez is a bad guy. He is just calling out the votes. And by that same logic, it is absolutely fine for Miguez's people to call out any votes Fleming has made in the past and question those as well. It doesn't mean they're a bad guy. I don't think Blake Miguez is a bad guy. Here's the only problem I have with Blake is he has not yet, that I can find, come out and definitively said where he stands on the carbon capture boondoggle standpoint and the property rights issues that surround it. That's the only issue. We're clear on where McCormick and everybody else that are ashamed, I'm putting words in their mouth, but readily admit their vote was a mistake, that they made a mistake. Miguez so far is the only one that hasn't done that. That's not a knock on him. He just hasn't done it, or at least that I've seen.
That's right. He is the candidate. He should publicly address it.
Right. And if he supports it, he supports it.
Yeah, he's made his opposition has made an issue of it, and he's not stated a public opinion. Maybe I'm living under a rock and he's done it and we haven't seen it, but he's not, publicly come out and fought the thing. Now, I hate to say this, I'm going to do a little bit of his job for him. I'm going to do it. I do know if you go back to the 2023 regular session, HB 5 final passes, HB 571, there was an amendment 2624 by Danny McCormick that was to try to limit or stop the subsurface eminent domain. Miguez voted. I know that Miguez voted with Danny McCormick and all of the anti-CCS, the eventual anti-CCS people. I mean, Miguez voted with them. So did Julie Emerson. But, somebody messaged me and said that he did on Monday. Well, I mean, damn, he's just now going to get around to addressing that issue. It's been an issue for quite some time. He should have already addressed it.
Right. And again, the bigger issue to me, look, a lot of people are worried about the pipeline side of it and all that. And my answer to that is, oh, okay, so now you're going to be anti-pipeline living in the state of Louisiana? Do you know how many pipelines are underneath our feet as we speak in this state? I used a pipeline. There are a lot of them. I'm not worried about the safety or the pressures that the CO2 operates at and all that. What I'm worried about is it is a federally subsidized boondoggle. If private companies want to go out and capture CO2 and feel better and help save the whales and save the owls and feed the bunny rabbits, more power to them. Just don't do it with our taxpayer dollars. And then there is also the eminent domain property rights issue.
Okay. So I'm going to pose. So somebody in the comments said that Health Freedom is now attacking Fleming and attacking him. I think they're saying that they're attacking him on phone is blowing up. They're attacking him on COVID stuff, COVID era stuff.
Right.
So, okay, riddle me this, Rex. Wasn't there how many politicians at the start of COVID were going and fighting and arguing against, what all the doctors and what everybody was saying and the fear machine? How many politicians were just running out there, running to the mic to fight all of it, just right out of the gate? I mean, I can remember it was all we could do to even get our local school board to kind of budge a little bit on stuff.
They were very few and far between. And look, as much as we love Trump, even Trump, don't forget, Trump eventually acquiesced to the mask mandate and all that. And, he was, anyway. So, yeah, the point is that in the middle of all that ridiculous chaos, there were very few people that were coming out staunchly opposed to all the shenanigans that were being pulled.
Right. So now some of the partisans and friends of ours are attacking Fleming because he was allegedly pro-vaccine. Allegedly. I haven't seen anything that kind of confirms that, but I haven't seen any votes. The problem is that on this carbon capture stuff, you've got bad votes by Miguez. I mean, you've got bad votes. I mean, that's there. And on the same token, do I think that he was voting with ill intent? No, I don't believe that for a second. But do I think he was just going with the flow, just like Danny and everybody else? Yeah, I think that he was. So to attack Fleming on the jab and the COVID stuff, and he didn't even cast a vote and say, well, but he wasn't there. I mean, come on.
Well,
Good
look,
grief.
like I said earlier, in my opinion, it is perfectly fine to bring up somebody's voting record. And look, they can use the excuse, like in the carbon capture deal, they're all using the Nancy Pelosi excuse. You got to vote on it before you can figure out what's in the bill. And, lobby told us this was great. And the oil and gas industry said this was great, so we just voted on it. Well, shame on all of y'all, period. That's, you made the vote, you got to live with it. Now we're, half a banana peel away from having this carbon capture crap foisted upon us. So your voting records are fair game, period. And look, if Fleming voted somewhere to make a mask mandate, a federal mandate, I'll call him out on that too. But I hadn't seen that yet, so there's that. All right. I don't know. So this whole deal just seems to me, look, Miguez and Fleming are both trying to position themselves against Cassidy. I get it. But some of this is silly.
No, it is silly, and they're going to end up causing, this is going to be an Eddie Rispone 2.0 thing. where Ralph Abraham is going to be bumped out of the deal. And I would contend the field isn't set yet.
Right.
The field isn't completely set yet. I mean, there's still other candidates that could get in this race.
Yeah.
And could surpass everybody that's already in it. But with that said, Rex, we were talking about, so like, I think we're the only ones that do a real debate. Everybody else does these forums, right? They do these feel good things, and like, so the Republican Party of Louisiana had a big shindig in Alexandria this weekend, and even Cassidy showed up, and all of them showed up, and they all spoke, but it wasn't any. It wasn't a true debate. A true debate is
all
like if
talking
you're
points.
if you're a candidate and I'm a candidate, and me and you go at it. We go to debating and arguing about things,
Right.
and it's right there in front of God and everybody to talk about. Nobody else does that.
No. Look, you and I do it frequently on this show with various topics. To everybody's surprise, we don't agree 100% on everything. I would say we agree at about 95 or 98%. And you and I, have had plenty of back and forth debates right here on this show. And you're right, the way that, and look, it's full credit to you for structuring the debates like that facilitates those kind of moments, like the gotcha moment with Mills and Adam Bass. I mean, look, you can call it a gotcha moment if you want, and it kind of was, but Adam, look, he swung at the ball perfectly, and Mills fumbled the play.
That's the best way to describe it. It is what it is, but we didn't influence it in any way.
No.
It was just the men. They were in the ring competing, and everyone was able to get a glimpse into that. Did Mills have a bad day? Maybe. He may have had a bad day. Did Bass just happen to have a really good day? That may be the case. Either way, at that one point in time, that was the way it turned out. And everybody was able to take away from it whatever they wanted to take away from it. I think the same thing is in play here, but I don't know. I would love to be able to put a true debate together between the primary candidates in this thing. But I got to tell you, I'm having a second thought on that. I'm actually having a thought thinking, what would be more appealing?
Boxing match?
To put a debate together between Scott McKay,
we'd have to pick somebody on the Fleming side because McKay is, full blown on Blake's side, and that's fine.
We get Chris Alexander LeCag.
Yeah, there we go.
And wait a minute, what's Lunsford? What's the name of his group?
Oh yeah,
New
Central
Louisiana.
Yeah, New Louisiana or something. Yeah.
And get Lunsford over there. I mean, so I guess I don't know. Maybe McKay would be representing Emerson, Alexander would be representing Fleming, and Lunsford would be representing Miguez.
It would be interesting.
and have a debate of the social media.
Let the surrogates, so to speak, duke it out.
I think, I don't know if that wouldn't be more telling.
It would be more fun. And look, not that I don't think a true debate between Miguez and Fleming would be fun. And look, got to pull Julie Emerson in here. She's in the race.
I have tried to get Julie to come on this show. She said that she would, but it's never happened.
We need to see where she stands on carbon capture, sequestration, and property rights.
You know who wants to come on this show and talk to Bossier people regular? He's from up this way. He's the only one. I mean, I will say Miguez did reach out to me when Kara was in the hospital getting her brain operated on, and I was supposed to call him back, and I still have not called him back to this day.
Right.
And he's welcome to come on the show, the same as Julie is. I mean, even Cassidy. But
Yeah, well, we'll see. So, I mean, to kind of wrap this up, because we could really drag this on all night, it's kind of a little bit of a soap opera right now. I think that I agree with you, Duke, that carbon capture is a bigger issue than McKay's trying to deflect it. But do I think it's what's going to sway a huge amount of votes? Not necessarily, because in the end, most people are going to vote with how they perceive the state and their area overall. But I do think that is a big issue, and it's in the news and it's on social media, and so most people I talk to at least have some semblance of what carbon capture is, even non-political people, and they know that most of them have heard that it's not a good thing. So I'll just leave it at that. But that's anecdotal evidence. That's not, scientific evidence.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Either way, but when you start talking about eminent domain, I mean, my red flags are going up, and I'm sorry, I don't care what the hell it's for. I mean, when you start talking about taking my property, you better have a damn good reason, and it better be for the benefit of government or that benefits everybody, not for some corporation.
Right.
Not for some corporation. No.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, I've got right here as our little second item, the parking lot report. Here's the deal. I don't really want to belabor that point because I've reshared on our Facebook page some of the Tommy Chandler videos and all that about this parking lot situation. I'm not going to beat a dead horse too much on that, except to refresh everybody's memory. That's in reference to the Bossier City free parking lots scandal over there on Benton Road. And the biggest thing to me is, where is this report? It's like been radio silence on this report. Now, I also shared out, so let me see if I can pull it up on the screen. Let me do a little clicking here, and let me get rid of that, and I'll pull up cut one. Let's see. All right, give me just a second here. All right, so did share this out on Bossier Watch today. The Shreveport Bossier City Advocate, you can go read their full article. It's behind a paywall. They posted an article. It says, where is Bossier City Council's report on its investigation into the parking lot scandal? Where is this report? And it still hasn't been released. None of the council's findings have been disclosed. Cliff Smith has said he didn't have any updates. And then our good friend Chris Smith responded Thursday with an email to the Advocate saying it's complicated. So I'm going to read you his quote as reported by the Bossier City Advocate, or the Shreveport Bossier Advocate. Chris Smith says, we are working on this. This is complicated because there is a lot of attorney-client privileged information in the documents, and the city of Bossier still has active litigation with other businesses in the area, and there's still prospective litigation that could arise. We don't want to compromise the city's position in said litigation, so we're working through redactions and what is and isn't a public record at this time. We hope to have a finalized report soon. I mean, they could publish it. The only reason there's any privileged information is because they're agreeing that it's privileged, but there's like no law that says they can't publish that information, that says they can't talk about it.
Well, as I see myself sitting back, about to go to sleep in my chair again, I would just go back to saying to people, I mean, look, these guys, how long have they been in there? They ain't been in there long at all. We need to give them a little bit, give them some slack.
I'm giving them some slack, but it was a couple of months ago when Brian Hammonds berated Richard Ray at that now infamous meeting, which has been the #1 video that we've ever posted. And I want some results. Look, Hammond said himself, the state police reached out to the city and they turned all that over. Now it's just crickets. So that's, look, I understand this stuff takes time. Government works slow. Investigations take a little while. But come on, folks, give us some kind of update. You can see here, this was an interesting quote that somebody pointed out. Let me read this to you. This is from Lewis Johnson, PIO, and we like Lewis, he's a great guy. He says the city has spent in excess of $10 million dealing with Benton Road access claims, the vast majority arising well before the current administration took office. The mayor, on the advice of the city attorney, took swift and decisive action in order to save the city somewhere in excess of $500,000. Tommy saved the day. I should have turned Tommy into a superhero, not Adam Bass.
I mean, look, we all knew that this thing went before this administration council all came into play. We all knew that, and it stunk since day one. It
Right.
stunk.
Yeah.
And just give these guys the benefit of the doubt. That's all I say is give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we voted a bunch of new people in. We voted for change. I think they're going out of their way to try to, change things, to try to be as transparent as they can be. And but I'm different. Believe it or not, I have more patience than I would say 90% of the people out there. I think that I do. I can wait it out for a lot of stuff.
Let me make sure my little earbuds here are not malfunctioning and garbling your words. Look, I'm not upset with Smith, Hammonds, and crew yet. I'm just saying it's been several months. Look, did Richard Ray have to turn in his car? Nobody's mentioned that yet. Hammonds made a big deal out of it at the meeting. Richard Ray has told us 999,000 times he is part-time. I want that car parked this evening.
Wait a minute. Hold up a second. Why have you not heard about it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Nobody's reported on it.
Well, did Richard Ray park his car?
Allegedly, yes. I've had that answer, but I haven't shared it. So, but here's the thing. You're not getting that information. That information is not being shared out there. Why is that? Because Bossier Watch is not reporting it. Why has the other media not already reported that?
I don't know. I was about to fire off a public information request. And you would think that Hammonds would come out there like a banny rooster with a picture of Richard Ray's car. It is obvious he and Mr. Ray don't particularly like each other very much.
Yeah, I mean, and that may be the case. He may be, but I mean, look, I think even folks may not recognize it, but I think he exercises some restraint in his way. And I think this is a case where you could say that he exercised restraint because he hasn't gloated over it. I mean, maybe it's human nature. Maybe normal. Most people would go out there and
I'm
gloat.
going to say the 999,000 times comment and telling the CAO to get that car parked that evening or the next day had a little gloat. And I love Brian Hammonds for doing that. We need more of that. So I'm not criticizing Brian, and I'm not criticizing him nor Chris for not getting the information out or updates. I'm just asking the question. Did Richard Ray have to park his car? Paging Brian Hammonds.
I'm told that he did. It's parked. That's what I'm told.
Okay. Did he have to pay back his raise that he got?
Hadn't went into that. All I wanted clarification on that question, and the answer that I got, I was told that yes, it was parked.
Okay. Well, good. So there we have the answer. That'll make a great little Facebook reel for me to edit this show. Val Baker says, put an air tag on it to keep up with it.
Oh, God.
Alice Boyer.
What's
all right, Alice Boyer says, Ray's shoulders were a little low today. Well, maybe his shoulders hurt from having to hold up his hand to flag down a bus to ride the city bus to work.
Well, wait a minute. We're still paying for it, right? Because City of Bossier gives how much money to Sportran?
Don't remind me, Mr. Lowry. Yeah, between that and the Brookshire's Grocery Arena, formerly known as the CenturyTel Center, all that whole debacle. And I agree with you, Miss Ruth. Richard Brian Hammonds definitely represents his district and does it well. That was on full display at today's council meeting too. So, all right.
Well,
Yeah.
look, there's about 60 folks watching, and we are glad y'all are all here. It looks like all of our regular folks that are loyal viewers of the show are camped out. And hey, I got a question for all of y'all. Blow it up in the comments. Do y'all think Governor Landry was wrong in his comments about LSU and the football and the way things were being run? What do y'all think? What's your and if you can't remember, we'll play the press conference again that Governor Landry and the words and what he said. We'll play it again. I got a link in the notes, Rex.
All right, let me get
And
that.
we'll let y'all if you forgot, what do y'all think? And I know that, look, this is like a week old, but this is fun. I mean, Rex don't care about football.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's not that I don't like football. It's just not top of my list, and I'm not as passionate. It's like NASCAR. I got a lot of friends that are into NASCAR. I know you're into NASCAR, at least used to be. And NASCAR is fine. Going to a NASCAR race is fine. It's just not my big deal that I'm passionate about.
well, I gotta tell you, college football is losing me. I mean,
Really?
the NFL lost me years ago, and I can tell you when it was. Raiders Redskins. I think it was 1988. And Joe Theismann was a stud of a quarterback.
Right.
And when the Raiders that were sorry beat the Redskins, I knew that NFL was fake and it was fixed. And I quit watching after that. I never watched it again.
Yeah.
And I started watching college. Well, now that they have allowed all this money to infect college football, and now the players are being paid, and we're on the fast track here to being basically NFL 2.0. That's where we're at.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I've got a different take on it too, because why should college football and the SEC and the other organizations and the coaches rake in all the cash literally on the backs of the college players?
I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question, and I acknowledge it that there's a valid point
There's a double
there.
standard.
But the bottom line is it's destroying the game. I mean, it's going to destroy the college football game, and we're going to be left with high school. That's where we're going. And then how long will it be after that it's going to be about nothing but the money in high school?
But it's already about the money in the booster clubs too, and that's a whole other point. Hey, let me kind of take a little bit of a turn with this conversation. So I know you're a dyed-in-the-wool LSU fan, and a lot of the people in the audience are. So I've got a question because, again, I follow college football, but I'm not super, super passionate about it. So there's a lot of hatred amongst LSU fans for Nick Saban. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Nick Saban lead LSU to a national championship?
Yeah,
when
that's
he was
crap.
Well, I'm going to ask the question though. Hold on, let me finish. So
okay,
he led LSU to, was it 1 or 2? I can't remember. National championships.
One.
All right. Okay. Then, of course, he committed the cardinal sin by going to Alabama because I guess they paid him more money or whatever his reasoning was. So why is there so much hatred for Nick Saban? Is it just because he went to Alabama?
Well, I think I think it's that he went to Alabama. Still to this day, I have no idea why he actually left to go to Alabama. He apparently has publicly said the biggest mistake of his professional career was leaving LSU, which is an amazing comment coming from the guy. But all the people even today that are hating on Saban, I got to tell you, they would relish the opportunity for him to be right back at LSU again, because say what you want to about the guy. I mean, he knows how to build a football program. He knows how to do it. And I think if he comes back to LSU, he'll do it again. I have no doubt.
So Val Baker says he left because NIL was coming. And yeah, we've seen those statements over the weekend and in the past from Saban that he decided to retire because NIL was coming. It's not why he left LSU. And so that's kind of, poked a couple of holes in the whole balloon that Saban was going to, they're going to offer him $75 million or whatever amount to try to get him back to LSU. So, all right. I've got Landry's video teed up. So you want to kind of set the stage for this, or we'll just hit play?
Yeah, he inexplicably, I mean, had a press conference. Now, I think he set out to address SNAP benefits, and that was the first part of it, but nobody wanted to talk about that. And the press conference was kind of going short, and somebody asked him a question pertaining to LSU, and roll it.
Uh-oh. We don't have audio. Hold on just a second. Let's see. That's all right. We should have audio here. Hold on a minute. Let's try this again. Well, that's not nice. Why do we not have audio? Well, all right. So, for some reason, I don't have audio on this.
Well, the long and short of it was, the question was basically, well, are you going to name the coach of LSU? He's like, absolutely not. I'm not going to name the coach of LSU. And then he went on a tirade, just basically saying, but we're going to have accountability, and we're not going to have any of these crazy contracts that, have been going. I mean, that freaking guy got $45 million to walk away. That was the contract.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's redonkulous. I mean,
he was literally laughing all the way to the bank.
He's like, fire me. Yeah, I'll take that $45 million.
What was Coach O's payout? I mean, it was something kind of similar. It might not have been $45 million, but it was a lot of money.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't even. I think it was less than a quarter of that.
But still, that's enough.
It wasn't even close.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot. So, then the governor made a follow-up post. He started getting a ton of criticism about all of his comments about, saying that he's not going to allow this to happen to the state of Louisiana, or potentially the taxpayers of the state of Louisiana being on the hook for any of this crap. And, he shared a screenshot of part of the contract. And I ended up sharing that on my Facebook page, and I think you got it teed up. Let's look at that.
Yeah, so here's this deal. So this is from the governor's Facebook page. It says, and quote in the yellow areas there, this employment and IP license agreement is made and entered into the 8th day of April 2022 by and between Board of Supervisors of Louisiana State University and Agricultural and Mechanical College, otherwise known as LSU, a body corporate under the Constitution and laws of the state of Louisiana, herein represented by Tate, who it's duly authorized President Brian Kelly and Brian Kelly LLC, blah, 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 and signed by the Board of Supervisors of Louisiana. So he was showing relevance to state funding or the state's association with LSU, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So can you, Rex, you're not the football guy, can you find the Tiger Athletic Foundation right there in that? Read that again, or skim through it and show me where the Tiger Athletic Foundation is right there.
Well, I don't see it. It doesn't jump out at me.
I can't see it either, but yet all these social media warriors, that primarily the lot that are attacking Landry and saying how stupid he is and how he shouldn't be involved in this and he shouldn't say whatever. I mean, they all don't talk about John Bell Edwards talking about shutting LSU football down if he didn't get his way on policy. But, the governor here is taking a point and showing the contract here, or part of the contract, and everybody's out there saying, oh, the state ain't got no liability. The Tiger Athletic Foundation, TAF, is the ones that are responsible for this. Yet the actual contract doesn't have TAF anywhere in it, but it damn sure has Louisiana State University Agricultural Mechanical College, and that is enabled by who? The Louisiana legislature. And if the Louisiana legislature convenes tomorrow, can take control of the system if they wanted to. The board of supervisors only exists because the legislature and the approval of the governor enable it to be. That's and the governor was being nice in the way that he put this out here.
That would be an interesting legal battle between the donors, the major donors of LSU, and what they're donating to in the state. That would be interesting.
But look, the governor wasn't saying, I want to pick the coach. That ain't what he was saying. He's simply pointing out the fact that the state does have liability. And I tried to argue this. I made a post on social media, on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And he was simply just trying to make the point that the state does have liability here. The way these things, the state, somebody has to, on behalf of the state, step up and say, look, we need to make sure that we're looking out for the people of Louisiana, because maybe LSU's not. I mean, should we be allowing one individual to make that decision to ink a contract with a losing coach to where he's got a buyout in 3 years for Val Baker said $58 million? And I don't think that one person should be able to be making that decision. And oh, by the way, the contract's going to have the state of Louisiana on the hook. So everybody's arguing, saying, oh, no, the state of Louisiana, no way, it's all TAF. It's all TAF. TAF, in fact, they go so far to say, and they make the point, argue, that TAF pays for all the athletics at LSU. They cover all of it, Rex. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It don't cost the taxpayers of Louisiana nothing. You don't kick in nothing whatsoever.
Well, is that actually true?
Well, I've got in the folder, I actually went and pulled the audit report from the Louisiana Legislative Auditors, the most recent one from 2024. It's labeled 2024 LSU Athletics.
Yep, let me drop that in there. All right, what page shall we go to?
Well, I mean, so look, I'm no accountant. Hang on, let me adjust the camera. I'm slumping down in my seat. The night is getting long. So look, I'm no accountant, and we're going to point out some of the high points here. And I just want to point out the relevant points that I think may shed some light on this stuff. And I think that, I can't remember the pages. I should have read this. Let me scroll through here. This is the report that the NCAA audit that the NCAA mandates regarding the athletics program at LSU. And, it sets out all the parameters for, I made notes of the pages to go to. And unfortunately, I have my camera sitting on the little notes where I put the numbers, so I can't flip it over to look at the pages.
Well, we can lose you for a second if you need to. Let's see, it's 27 pages long. So,
yeah, I do remember page 17. Maybe that's where,
contributions.
Page 12.
Page 12. Okay, let's go back. Minimum agreed upon procedures for affiliated outside organizations, contributions. etc. Let me see if I can scroll down this. We obviously didn't do our homework first and have this completely queued up, folks, but as usual, we're living up to our amateur status.
Jeff Sadow is already commenting to me, and he says, actually, the management of boards are all in the Constitution, but the LSU system enters into a contractual relationship. The state is obligated to pay it. So there's one more confirmation. Yeah, I'm just going to jump to page 7. Well, page 15, Louisiana State University, A&M College, and you're looking at revenues and expenses right here. And you see football, I mean, just on the revenue side, $107 million.
Pretty much dwarfs everything else.
Yeah, I mean, but all across the board, I mean, that's a lot of money, right? And expenses, you see there in that column, what, 50 excess
50.
deficiency of revenues over 55 million, something like that.
Right.
But then you see in that note there, is this the right one? Yeah, the note, the eliminations column eliminates the activity between LSU and the Tiger Athletic Foundation. And that is that 12,802,000 that you see over there in that eliminations column, second from the right.
Okay.
So, you're talking about an operating revenue, a system that has revenues and a system that's operating with $107 million, and TAF's monies that's flowing through there is to the tune of $12 million. Now, what people are saying is that TAF is everything. TAF is all of it. The LSU system has nothing to do with the money, right? With athletics. That's the argument.
That math ain't adding up according to this.
I mean, and I'm not making any of this up. I mean, this was actually the Louisiana Legislative Auditor's stuff here. And I'm no CPA. I'm no none of this crap here, but I'm sitting here looking at revenues of 7 million. The TAF money is supposed to be like 12,800 something thousand. And, but expenses 55, even if you just said, okay, well, it costs 55 million to operate, or I don't know. How does it all add up? It doesn't add up to me.
I'm looking at the coaching salaries, benefits, and bonuses paid by the university and related entities was at 20.9 million. Let's see, support staff, another 5 million, severance payments, 148,000. So, what is the athletic foundation paying? I mean, everybody's claiming they're paying.
Okay.
Is the basic premise that everybody claims that the athletic foundation is paying for the salaries? I mean, look, I can tell you for sure the athletic foundation paid for some of the AstroTurf or whatever they use now, artificial turf in the practice stadium, because I know who wrote the check for it.
But
that's
the
not
charge
the salary.
This is the charge. The charge is people say the state has no liability, and the Tiger Athletic Foundation covers everything athletics. They cover it all. The governor's wrong. There's no liability to the people in Louisiana. Go to the next page and let's start out the introduction. And,
all right.
And let's.
Well, all right, but let me point out one more thing here. So I'm looking in the revenues column for football. The ticket sales alone are $40 million. Guarantees, there's another 5.1, whatever guarantees are. There's $27 million in contributions. So I wonder where those contributions are coming from. That may not be the athletic foundation itself. Maybe those are other sources. Maybe somebody watching or Sadow can chime in if he happens to know. Okay, let me go to the next page, which is blank.
Keep scrolling. Page 17.
Yeah, 17.
Top of page 17, and this is the introduction. Louisiana State University and A&M College, LSU, a part of the Louisiana State University system, is a publicly supported institution of higher education. The system is a component unit of the state of Louisiana within the executive branch of government. What is the executive branch of government in
Oh
Louisiana?
gosh, let me remember my civics. Oh, that would be the governor's office.
Funny, that's the same thing I thought. The LSU Athletics Department is a part of the operations of LSU's auxiliary enterprises. LSU uses the fiscal year July 1st through June 30th for financial reporting purposes. The LSU Athletics Department is supported by the Tiger Athletic Foundation that was founded in 1983 as a nonprofit corporation. And there's the statute. TAF's primary objective is to encourage, support, and raise funds for LSU and its intercollegiate athletics programs. Funds are primarily used to defray the cost of scholarships to help maintain and improve LSU athletic facilities and to retire present indebtedness.
All right, so I'm reading the contributions. It says the athletics department received non-capital contributions totaling $34.152 million from TAF for the year ended December 31, 2023. Contributions on Statement A reflect gifts in the form of goods, services, and benefits paid for on behalf of the athletics department. All right, so what's the summary of all this? That the state's not necessarily funding LSU, but the state is potentially on the hook for LSU. Is that the basic premise?
Well,
Potentially on the hook.
somebody asked earlier, what exactly are they paying for? Go to the next page, page 18.
All right. So that's page 18 of the PDF, bottom of the page 14, which am I on the correct page?
And read the cooperative endeavor agreements. Here, where have we heard that kind of thing before?
Oh, yeah.
Bossier City,
yeah,
and water lines and things like that. So these are a couple of examples of how, the LSU entered into a cooperative endeavor agreement with TAF for the addition of the east side of Tiger Stadium. TAF agrees to lease a parcel of land located adjacent to Tiger Stadium for up to 50 years and to construct additional seats on the land as part of Tiger Stadium, including approximately 70 skyboxes. LSU will lease these stadium improvements from TAF. So they're leasing it to TAF, and then LSU is going to lease it back from TAF for $2 million per year for a 35-year lease term, or until TAF donates such improvements to LSU. The estimated value to LSU of this addition over the term of the agreement is approximately $49 million. So let's see, 2 million times 35 years, 70 million. The agreement is approximately 49 million.
This sounds like a money laundering operation.
Million. Well, that's interesting. That's okay. 70 and 49 million.
Illegal money laundering scheme here. I don't know.
I mean, if LSU is paying TAF $2 million per year to lease back what they originally leased to TAF, and they'll ultimately pay $70 million, from an agreement that was approximately $49 million. I mean, I get it. They're having to pay interest. I mean, that's going to be $21 million in interest. Okay. I mean, and if TAF just takes the money and doesn't pay the note on that particular one, and if you scroll through that, there's a bunch of these. There's a bunch of these. That's okay.
Yeah, I clicked the wrong button. So, but what's the summary? I mean, so is the state funding LSU football? Is the state legislature funding LSU football? Yes or no?
That's not the question. The question is does the state have any liability?
No, I've already answered that. I said the state potentially does. But my second question is the legislature appropriating money for LSU football year by year?
It is.
The answer is no.
No, I don't know that I can say that.
Okay.
I mean, look, is kids getting these this college money to go to
Oh,
LSU and then them
tops.
raising all of that tops? I
No,
mean,
that's not the question that I asked. I said I asked specifically, is LSU
well, if
football
you
getting
okay,
appropriated
well
money
then
from the legislature?
if you took away tops, if the state wasn't supplementing that, then what?
Then they would go back to what they were doing before 1990, whenever tops came out.
They wouldn't be having Tiger Athletic Foundation, you mean?
No, the Tiger Athletic Foundation was founded before the top scholarships.
I think it was right around the same time. I think it was
Didn't you say it was in
98.
'83? I thought
Maybe
you
that
said
was
it
what I read
incorporated
earlier.
in
I don't.
'83.
I may have
And
read that. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm shooting off top the hip
Tops
here.
was sometime in the '90s because it wasn't available when I graduated, and that was in 1989.
But either way, all these construction projects and stuff, people wanted to know what TAF was doing. Well, they're a nonprofit, and which doesn't make sense to me because LSU is technically a nonprofit, but it's the government. They're flowing money through TAF to do these projects and doing these bonds. But just right there, the very first example, I mean, they describe the project as 49 million, but yet you do the math. LSU's paying Taft $2 million per year for 35 years. That's $70 million. Maybe 21 million is the interest rate. I mean, that's almost 50. That's a little less than 50%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, go to the next one.
Well, all
LSU's
right.
paying Taft $2.5
Okay.
million per year for 35 years
But
for
here's what I want to
100
know.
million.
Because I knew probably what most of the general public out there knew. I knew the governor had made some comments about LSU football after the coach got kicked to the curb and paid $50 million or whatever it was. So my question is, what was Landry trying to say? Was he just trying to say, hey, the state's potentially on the hook for liability in this? If so, that's easy. Why is this continuing to be a conversation?
Well,
Was
it's
Landry
continuing.
trying to steer the coaching decisions in any way?
No, I don't think he's trying to steer the coaching decision, but I mean, this thing is getting crazy down there. And when you talk about having buyouts of basically $50 million for an organization that has $100 million a year budget, I mean, good grief. 50 million. I mean, you can look through this thing further on down in here when you get further
Oh,
into
it's a
this
money
thing.
machine.
You look at the numbers here. Is some of the at what point does somebody, and this was a question I posed on social media, at what point does somebody that represents the taxpayers of Louisiana step up and say, wait a minute, this loosey goosey thing we're doing here, spending money for coaches and all this stuff, I mean, we need to have some oversight here. I mean, you would think that your LSU Board of Supervisors would do that, but I got to tell you, they don't even want to put a Charlie Kirk statue up down there. I mean, what if all of the Taft members, the donors, say, you know what, we're tired of you pissing away $50 million on a subpar coach. We're not going to do it. Then
Well,
what? Then is the
I can
legislature going to have to step up and cover this?
I can definitively say that some of those conversations have been had in recent years with the LSU situation. I know one of the guys that was in that room, and he's shared with me some of the things that he's unhappy about. So, but here's my thing. Again, I'm just going back to
So
the Landry.
you're saying that's a legitimate concern that these guys could get pissed off and say, nope, we're going to close up our pocketbook. You're saying that's legit.
That comment has been made to me by somebody who writes very large checks.
Yeah.
And it was over a different situation. It was prior to a couple of years ago, but that potentially, yeah, if they get sick of it, they don't have to write those checks.
Now think about this. I mean, y'all can say what you want to say about the governor. I mean, what if they've pissed in the governor's ear and said, you know what? You need to step up here. We're tired of them pissing away our money. We're not going to keep doing this unless something changes. And everybody down there at LSU's got their head stuck in the sand. And the only person left to step up to the plate to say something is the governor. But now he's the bad guy.
I don't think I don't see it as a bad guy. I mean, he was giving his opinion, but the only time I would have an issue is if he's using the power of the governor's mansion to try to steer the coaching decision for LSU. Giving his opinions one thing. I don't think it would be proper for him to try to use the power of the governorship to steer that decision. I don't know. That's just my 2-bit opinion on it. So,
well, some people think that it was a political hit job, that Landry wanted to get payback on all these guys down there. And all I got to say is that, well, if they were all down there, and if this was a political hit job by Landry, and they're all down there playing politics, and they're supposed to be winning football games, well, how did that work out?
Right.
It appears they were spending more time politicking than they were winning football games. So you know what? Their asses needed to be fired.
Right. And look, Cheatham's got a good comment. Says Landry wants contracts that don't reward losers and contracts that don't put the taxpayers on the hook. Dadgummit, I lost his comment. Don't put the taxpayers on the hook. If Taft wakes up one day and says they aren't paying, he wants accountability. I can't disagree with that, although I would just say that doesn't potentially put the taxpayers on the hook. Anyway, so I don't know. That's my opinion. Again, like I said, I'm not anti-football or certainly not anti-LSU. It's just not, at the front of my wheelhouse. So in the end, who's going to be the next head coach of LSU? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to put some bets in the comments? Come on, Mr. Lowry. Who do you think it's going to be? Are they going to pull Nick Saban out of retirement with enough cash dangling in front of him?
Well, fortunately, here's the deal. I think Saban would come back, and I think Saban would love to come back to LSU to just put the exclamation point on him being the GOAT of all time. And I don't know that it would be as much about the money for him as it is whether or not the Tiger Athletic Foundation and LSU are willing to put the money down on the players like all these other colleges. If they will make a commitment, I think, to put enough money or to beat every other university in the country on the buying these players or whatever, the modern day contracts of players. I think Saban comes back. I do, definitely. But if they're not willing to put the money up, it's not going to happen.
All right. What say y'all, folks? Let us know in the comments. Let's debate football of all things, or LSU football of all things on Bossier Watch. All right. I'm going to hit play for a second. I want to see if this audio comes through. And it is not. Why is the audio not coming through? Hold on a second. This is going to make this very, very awkward. Hold on a second. Okay, that's going there. All right, let me do a little clicking here. Let me get out of some stuff and come back into it. I've got an audio issue.
Saban, you're right. He won't put up with alumni bullshit. But when Saban, if this is how it will be, and that will be how, that was the way it was when he came the first time. He said, "This is what it takes." And he didn't have any influence from the outside. He ran the show, period. It'd be the same exact thing again.
All right, give me just a second. I'm trying to click around here, folks. Bear with me for just a second. I'm running into a little tech issue with sound that doesn't want to play through a browser.
And Paul Johnson, Huey Long picked the band director, but, there's something else. People said that the governor of Louisiana has never had anything to do with the coach of LSU football. That's wrong. Huey Long once fired one. He fired one. Look it up. Groke it or, whatever.
All right. Let's get to chicken crap. And the
Chicken crap.
Yeah, and the city council infrastructure meeting today. I mean, that's what,
Oh my God.
It's last on our list. So, first of all, I want to point out, let me go to this timestamp and just play this for a second. So bear with me.
Operating capital budget's public hearing will be held at a special meeting on November the 11th, 2025 at 3 p.m. During the same meeting and following the public hearing, the vote on possible adoption will be held.
So
for anyone curious, we're not voting on the second reading of the budget today. That'll happen next Tuesday, 3:00 p.m. in this room.
Everybody hear that? Budget meeting, if anybody's interested. Everybody's interested in chickens. Nobody's worried about a few $1,000,000 here and there in the budget, I guess. That's next week. There was a little interesting dialogue here on the stop sign traffic study. As you know, there was a little kerfuffle between Brian and the engineering guy on doing a traffic study to put a stop sign in. So I thought I would share this a little bit. Let's listen in.
Afternoon, Council, Mayor. Yes, we did finish up those two studies. We found that they were not warranted, so I just ask that you consider that in your vote.
Thank you, sir.
And let's listen to
Anything
Mr.
else from the
Adams.
council?
Yeah. I understand that, the specs of those studies that they do are very, very, very broad when 99% of the traffic in these subdivisions and the problems that we are having are in the morning times and in the evening times when the influx of people leaving between the hours of 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning going to work is when the problem is, and when kids are outside playing and that type of stuff. That is the reason that both myself and Councilwoman Ross have brought this ordinance to the city. Even though it is not warranted from a study, it is still warranted for the citizens that live there and want this.
So in other words, you can take your traffic study and shove it. That's basically what he's saying. And they voted to put the stop sign there.
Oh, good grief. Well,
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out. He basically said, take the traffic study and shove it where the sun don't shine.
That's more or less what he said a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, pretty much. All right. Let's see here. Let's get to the chickens. First of all, I don't know if you've watched any of this yet, Mr. Lowry, but did you know that, well, I hate to paint such a broad brush, but we might have to label Mr. Chris Smith as a tax guy. I mean, if you consider fees as taxes, that's what he led talking about the chickens with, was a fee. Listen to this.
I got to see it myself.
Motion carries.
I hadn't watched it. I got to see it.
Here we go.
Adopt an ordinance to amend Section 14-33 of the Bossier City Code of Ordinances relative to the raising of poultry. Final reading.
So moved.
Now, here we go.
Motion by Councilwoman Ross, second by Councilman Chris Smith. Council, before we go any further, I'd like to offer two amendments to this, should it pass. Amendment number 1, for anyone wanting to raise poultry, that there be a $100 per year permit fee on the
It's his words. It's his amendment.
on the poultry. And second,
And I guess he thought about it. and figured that the $100 was
Just
maybe
the one
enough.
amendment.
So he scratched his second amendment, whatever
Are
it's
you
going to
wanting
be.
to do that at this time
All right.
and reintroduce it, or are you wanting to vote on it now?
I've got a read on this already.
So you think there should be a $100 fee for cats, dogs, and birds?
No,
Parakeets? Tweety bird?
No, just stop already. Let's see the rest. I haven't seen this. Let's see the rest of this.
Okay. All right, here we go.
But right out of the gate, I have an opinion already. I have an observation.
I have an opinion and an observation too. It's not good, but here we go.
Okay.
If you put this amendment in there at this moment, it will be a reintroduction as amended.
Okay, so we can just, if this were to pass at the next meeting, I could just do it, I could just amend this. Okay, let's do that.
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll make it easier. All right, so
This
scratch
is the
that.
final reading.
Well, once it becomes adopted,
Okay.
I'll just draft an order.
Basically what he's saying here is, all right, well, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and see how this ordinance is going to go. And then he can come back later if the ordinance passes and offer up an amendment. So he just let the cat out of the bag that he's a tax and registration fee kind of city councilman.
You mean let the cat out of the bag to run wild in the city with no permit?
No, let the cat out of the bag to go attack all the chickens and kill all the chickens.
Okay.
And pay $100 for it.
I was trying to make a joke there. Okay. So I don't know. I see things different than most people, and I don't care what anybody says about me. Y'all can say whatever you want to say. So I think, look, if you're leading a meeting, and I don't even know how the vote has went here, but I'm going to guess that Chris votes in favor of chickens.
He does.
Okay.
He's voting in favor of his $100 fee he wants to impose upon the good citizens of the city.
I'm guessing he's already read the room, because if you're leading a meeting and there's a vote and you have an interest in it, you've already kind of read the room and you kind of already know how things are going to go. I'm got a suspicion he probably already knows how this vote is going to be and the lines of demarcation. So he's
why would he even proffer a $100 registration fee when he knows a lot of people are going to rag his rear end about that?
But
he should have just kept his mouth shut.
No, he knows that the chickens are going to fail. The vote's going to fail. And he's offering an amendment to try to make it more palatable for somebody to jump over and vote in favor of it.
Oh, they lost wholeheartedly. Had to have been a couple of folks that jumped ship.
But look, to the issue of the fee, right or wrong on the fee or the quantity, I'm not debating any of that or whatever. But the fee thing. I mean, if people have concerns about the cleanliness and whether people
then they can
maintaining,
fine them.
Well, that's right, but just let me finish. Or whether they're maintaining in compliance with the city rules. If you have a fee, whether it's $5, $10, or whatever, it creates a list of legally allowed where they can go and inspect to make sure people are in compliance, and doing that may alleviate people that are voting to pass it.
And in full disclosure, I don't give a damn about chickens except for eating fried chicken. And I like chicken tenders. And I like going to Cane's Chicken. And I like orange chicken from Chinese places. But I have zero desire, even though my wife does, I have zero desire to raise any damn chickens. I like eating their eggs. And I like eating fried chicken and all the other chicken things. But a $100 fee for raising chickens? Come on. Again, what do we need to get? What's that guy's name? Steve Pinnell from the Red Rover ordeal to come over here with a chicken rooster crowing ordinance? I mean, what do we need?
You're going to have to talk to Jacobs about that. But I'm just saying, he probably was just, I'm guessing maybe it was what some other cities or something, or they may have a similar ordinance or something where they registered or whatever. But look, that's not my issue. I think Chris was just trying to offer something or throw something out there that may be palatable to the other councilmen, because there's obviously people in Bossier City there's obviously people that want chickens.
And
he knows it's going to fail. He knows this is going to fail, I'm guessing. And
Let's be
he would,
clear though. They want to remove the
okay,
restriction preventing them from having chickens, which they could at one time. Let's be clear about that. It's not the city council giving people the ability to have their chickens. It's removing their prior restriction, restricting people from having chickens whenever the ordinance was enacted back in the 70s or 80s or whenever it was first enacted.
yeah.
But
Whatever. I just bottom line, people
I get what you're saying, and yeah, but if he knew the way the vote was going, he's going to need to swing more than one vote. And I mean, what good's $100 going to do? $100 isn't going to buy Maggio. He's not that cheap.
Okay.
Here we go.
Good afternoon. My name is Linda Clements, and I live on Evangeline Circle. I'm a retired school teacher, and I was raised on a farm around lots of chickens. I could write a short thesis on chickens and chicken behavior. However, there are some things I want to bring to your attention. Number one, chickens are natural foragers. They like to be free. They do not like to be enclosed. And they will do whatever they can do to squeeze under, claw under, fly over their enclosure. Their droppings are very acidic and will eat right through the clear coat on your car and right into the paint or mess up your lawn furniture. Number three, they attract rodents, raccoons, all kinds of varmints that we really don't need in our neighborhood. Next, they can carry diseases like salmonella and even avian flu. And
scary.
lastly, their odor that they create does not stay in the backyard of the person with whom they reside. When the wind blows, it just wafts over the neighborhood. And for
So I gotta stop right there because she's definitely against the chicken. She's making some points, but you can make literally the same point about dogs and cats. Do you know how many houses I've had to go into to work on computers that I literally would be holding my breath and just trying to breathe as little as possible because of the cat piss smell and dog piss smell and all that? That you could literally smell it outside.
You're telling me we're worried about chicken farts?
Basically, yes. Oh, and we're worried about avian flu. We're not worried about the fleas that cats carry and the black plague, but we're worried about the avian flu.
Okay. So we're not going to have chickens, but I got to know. I don't know. Maybe. What did they ban parrots? Are parrots banned in Bossier?
I don't know. What about parakeets
or whatever?
I don't think they have. I mean, I don't know. I hadn't looked it up. I guess I should have looked it up because that's one of my contentions. Look, I don't care one way or the other about chickens. Do they ban snakes? Are they ban pythons? I mean, the pythons are literally taking over Florida. Our climate's not that much different. Did they ban pythons too? Did they ban house cats?
Okay, I got the solution. So I groped this. I said, are there any parrots or parakeets whose eggs are edible? And it said, yes, all parrot and parakeet eggs are technically edible. They're just like chicken eggs.
Yeah, I mean, you can eat ostrich eggs for that matter, or emus. I don't know.
So look, everybody, all what you got to do if you want chickens, you need to get, here's what it says. You need to get budgies, but whatever those are, cockatiels or lovebirds or Quaker parrots or large parrots, macaws, cockatoos,
Wait a minute.
or Amazon.
You can't do that because our good friend Ryan Haygood says parrots carry disease. Well, newsflash, dogs carry diseases. So do cats. So do possums, which roam freely. So do foxes, which roam freely all over the place around me. Rabbits carry diseases. People carry diseases. Anyway, Rusty says he wants emus.
That's all y'all got to do. Just got to get some parrots and cockatoos and all that, and y'all are good to go. Get chickens that identify as parrots. That's what y'all need to do.
Haygood says, we have baby goats? I don't see why not. You got all those little fat potbelly pigs running around. Why not baby goats? Those little cute baby miniature goats that, are like the size of a Chihuahua? I don't care if you have them.
Can you imagine a herd of wild pigs got loose in old Green Acres Place or New Green Acres Place? Maggio would be
Wild
losing his
potbelly pigs.
Maggio would be losing his crap.
Oh, I know. My mother is reminding me about the chicken crap over Forest Creek Park. Oh, yes, I told that story on the show before and how it made everybody's eyes water for a long time. So,
Rusty Maddox, the screaming goats. I can see that.
Or those fainting goats. Hey, Cheatham says, have they found all the monkeys in Mississippi yet? I've been on the lookout in my front backyard. Well, I know one of the monkeys got shot by a woman because her kid came in and said, hey, Mom, there's a monkey outside. So she went out there and shot the monkey. That was all over the news.
Sources tell me that all the rest of them are in South Bossier is what I hear.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not going to play. Crockett did a good job. Miss Brenda Davis came up there and reminded us of some things. So let's listen to her. But I do have a special appearance by Colonel Crockett coming up. So folks, y'all definitely want to stay tuned for at least a few more minutes because we have a special appearance and poem by the Colonel himself. But here we go. Let's listen to Brenda Davis's comments.
Yes, I'm Brenda Davis. I'm the one who spoke to all of you, all but Mr. Gerard. I believe he was out of town. I'm the one who brought up the whole chicken issue, and I've spoke to every one of you. And I know some of y'all's concerns were a couple of y'all even said, why would you even want chickens? I mean, that's not really the issue, though, is it? I mean, I could look at people and say, why do you want cats? Why do you want dogs? I mean, what's the difference? I mean, these chickens are going to be kept in a coop. They're not going to be free-ranging in your backyard. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen a Tractor Supply, all the small coops where you can build your own, but I mean, they will be contained. And if they're not contained, then you can do something about it.
I can't wait to see the Jump Out Boys raiding Tractor Supply. I'm going to be there
roll in there
tomorrow
with the Sheriff's Department's MRAP deal. Hey, and I still hadn't figured out, is Tractor Supply in the city limits? Do they have an exemption? I mean, some people in Bossier have an exemption. This is reminded, Brian Hammonds reminds us of this in his comments. There are certain people that can legally raise chickens in Bossier City.
Are you telling me the city attorney and the assistant city attorney are allowing the law to be broke by a business in Bossier City?
It appears so.
They are not calling the Jump Out Boys to go down there and raid Tractor Supply?
I want to see this. I'm just glad I got my new safe from Tractor Supply before they shut it down.
Wait a minute. What ain't there some laws about equal protection and
the
all
haves
that
and the
stuff?
have-nots?
I mean,
all right,
come on, Jacob. You ain't got a hair on your ass if you don't raid Tractor Supply first thing in the morning.
But right now, we also have leash laws and everything else in the city, but yet we see, you know, dogs and cats running all over the place. But we haven't outlawed them, have we?
That's right.
So I just think putting a blanket
and we all know what happens when you have barking dogs. They send Steve Pinnell in and the cops to literally ticket you and arrest you.
Yeah, good Lord, if a dog barks.
on, oh, no chickens, because this possibly can happen. We already know what happens with cats and dogs, but we haven't outlawed them. So I just think that we just need to be a little bit more open-minded, and I know some of y'all's personal preferences is that you don't like the chickens, you think it's a good idea, but make people responsible, and if it's a complaint about smell, then go out and investigate it. It'd be like any other smell. I live in South Bossier. I want to talk to you about your water system.
That's great.
I mean, it blows over here in my backyard all the time. I mean, it's a joke with my family.
Right.
Going down the parkway. You know, all of a sudden you're driving along and go, you want to gag. So we want to talk about smell.
Let's talk about chicken farts. And the damn sewer system stinks worse than anything the chickens have put out.
While you're going down to the Brookshire Grocery Arena, that's such a losing proposition. You have to smell all that.
Oh, yeah, it makes me hungry.
All right, so I'm going to jump ahead because we've got to let Maggio indulge us.
Makes me want some chicken fingers.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to let Maggio indulge us with his intelligence. Here we go.
Yes.
Any comment from the council?
Mr. President.
Yeah, Mr. Mashio.
They passed the ordinance in 1964 and I believe 1980 about this, and we had it 4 years ago. I went out to see some houses. One might have be clean, the other 4 or 5 is just really messy. You know, when's it gonna stop? I had one lady call me this past week, I want my goat back. When is it, you know? But we gotta put a stop to it. People nowadays,
goat back.
right by in neighborhoods, they don't even keep the yard up, more or less a chicken coop. You might get 2 or 3, but other than that, they ain't gonna do it. So that's why I can't vote no. It ain't clean, it ain't safe, it ain't healthy, just can't, I
Mr.
can't
Smith,
support it.
I'm sorry, the audience is rather loud at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
If everybody could please keep it quiet so we could have a
All
debate.
right, so I'm going to jump ahead to Cliff Smith. We got to listen to this. This is insane here. This is almost as bad as, maybe it is worse than the chiropractor comments.
I thought we said we were done with Bossier City.
No, we're not done when they, well, anyway, here we go.
I respect the right of those who would like to have poultry in their backyards. But at the same time, I have to respect the rights of those who do not want poultry in their neighborhoods. We're kind of caught.
He's got this totally backwards. It's not a right to not want something. Folks, you have to understand this. You have the right to do everything that you want up until there is a law that says you can't. I've gone over this ad nauseum. All right. So he's leading or wading into this completely backwards, Mr. Smith. And really like Cliff Smith. He's a great guy, but this is the second council meeting that he said something that he needs a lesson on. Here we go.
In a bad situation, in my opinion, that first off, that we're even having this discussion. But we run the risk, and every time we take a vote, we run a risk of making 51% of the people happy and 49% unhappy, or vice versa. So I can't buy into the fact that we're taking rights away from somebody by not allowing them to have chickens, when we're also extending rights to those who do not want chickens next door to them.
That is not extending rights to anybody, Cliff Smith. I mean, this goes to the core of what you're supposed to believe. That is not extending a right to someone to restrict somebody else. That is not a right. That is government coming in to restrict it. I'd like to know, maybe somebody in the comments is old enough to remember, but I'd like to know why this ordinance was originally put in place. Was there like an outbreak of chickens running rampant around the city of Bossier City? Is that why they in the 60s, as Maggio reminded us in his great eloquence, why the statute was originally done? Why don't these other cities that allow chickens have a problem? For God's sakes, Shreveport allows chickens.
You know, it occurred to me, thinking about Cliff's district, I hope he doesn't go trying to take all the wood duck boxes down out of all the pecan trees in Shady Grove. I mean, because, you know, ducks are contract avian influenza, and that, you know, they're migratory birds and they use those nesting boxes and stuff. And I mean, that's a risk. Are we going to take all the wood duck boxes? I mean, I can remember those wood duck boxes being there almost 25 years ago, but I mean, people are putting them in pecan trees. So should we be taking those down?
I don't know. Those daggum wood ducks, when they whistle and squeal, can be loud. And look, they're dangerous. Those little suckers fly fast. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, if chickens are dangerous, so are all these other animals. But my biggest problem here with Cliff Smith, and again, I like Cliff. He's a super nice guy, 100% supporting being elected and still supporting. But this is twice now, Cliff. First, over the chiropractor situation and the stupid comment about the danger of pulling out on the drive when there's literally driveways not less than 200 feet from that. That was just ridiculous. And this whole argument on the rights, you need to go back and study rights, Cliff, with all due respect. This is the wrong argument for you to present against chickens. Just say, I'm against chickens. So here we go.
So I need a better excuse than we're taking your rights away.
It's perfectly fine. We're taking your rights away. He's good with that.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Is there any other comment from the council?
I want to make a quick comment. I was just
And
gonna,
here's my city
it's the
councilman.
same- My district's mainly neighborhoods. I went out of my way, and I just got back home to call, 40, 50 people in my district, different neighborhoods, and I got a resounding no to the chicken situation.
I got to point out, he's my city councilman. He didn't call me. I guess he can listen to the last show we did on the poultry and know where my position is. So I guess he didn't really have to call me. But paging Joel Gerard, you're my city councilman too. Not one phone call nor text message did I get from you.
What are they going to do about all your chickens? I mean, you got what, 20, 30?
No. If I had chickens here, they'd be dead in the frying pan.
No, I'm talking about those wild chickens out there in that ditch out there behind your house, the Flat River thing.
Oh yeah, there's lots of, it's like a Disney World around here. We've got deer that run up and down there. People were going nuts because, oh my gosh, they saw a coyote. And there's foxes everywhere. We've petted foxes in our driveway in the garage. They're just like little dogs. They're great. We have lots of foxes around here. Hawks, owls.
Lord. Good Lord.
I got a little bunny rabbit that lives right there in our flower bed.
Not a barred owl. Please don't tell me a barred owl.
I don't know. It's a big ass owl. He's lived in our oak tree forever. He likes to sit out there on our mailbox. That's his perch in the middle of the night. And he starts.
Anyway, let's keep going. How did it turn out?
I digress. So yeah, Joel called everybody in the neighborhood except for me to get their opinions. And then Hammond speaks. So let's listen to Hammond's, and then we'll get to the vote.
I'm the one that brought this ordinance up. South Bossier, where my district is, we're a little bit of both. We're a little bit of the city and we're a little bit of country. So I know people that have chickens in neighborhoods. Do I do anything about it? No. We in South Bossier, we have Rossi Lee Street where you can have cows and horses, and you're in the city limits.
So cow shit and horse shit's fine. But I tend to agree. I can take cow shit and horse shit smell a lot better than I can chicken shit smell. And that stems back to my childhood, as my mother was referencing.
Well, I'll tell you, I would much rather have a steak than I would chicken.
I agree with you 100%.
So then you're going to tell somebody one street over, you can't have a chicken, when these people, there's one house on Rossi Lee, I think they got about 30 chickens. There's not a thing you can do about it because they're grandfathered in.
I just want to know when the jump out. Yes. I want to be there. If anybody has any prior knowledge to the jump out boys going to raid these what would you call them? These
Tractor Supply, and then they're heading down to Rossi Lee Drive. As soon as they pick up the Tractor Supply boys.
I want to be there when they go to jumping out raiding these places. I want to be there. I just got to see this.
Yeah. And look, folks, I just want to say again. Well, go ahead, Duke, and then I'll get on my soapbox.
Well, look, Chief, this is a serious problem in Bossier. These damn chickens are stinking the place up. You got to enforce the law, baby. And I mean, I'm just telling you, this is a personal request from Bossier Watch. I mean, you need to make Chris Davis in charge of chicken patrol. He needs to organize a chicken jump out crew. And I promise you, I will be there and I will video him jumping out, raiding the chickens. Yeah. And hopefully he'll have an entanglement with a rooster. And
look, folks, if you think we're kidding, don't forget, we had the show and interviewed the lady that just lives a few blocks from me. They showed up with guns drawn. So
yeah, but that was the Marshals people, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't think that was BCPD.
Badges are badges.
We've reached a new level here.
All right, here we go.
Vote, I mean, I know I'm going to lose, but I'm going to vote. I'm the one, I can't really bring up an ordinance and then vote no against it. So.
Just aiding and abetting people with
Any other
illegal
comments?
chickens.
All that said,
All right, here's the vote.
council, it's time to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hey,
Nay.
Any abstain?
Can I ask for a roll call vote on that, please, since
Sure.
we can't do electronic voting?
Sure.
Mr. Hammonds?
I lost. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm a yay.
Mrs. Ross?
A nay.
He tried.
Mr. Chris Smith?
I'm a yay.
Mr. Cliff Smith?
Nay.
Mr. Gerard?
Nay.
Mr. Maggio?
nay.
Mr. Cochran?
Listen to this.
Motion fails.
Man, it seems like the old days, Councilman Smith.
All right, so there's two more things I want to show tonight before we get off there. That was great. That was great.
I needed that.
Yeah. So there's two more things I want to show. One is this interaction between Chris Smith and the council, and well, I'm calling her the chicken lady because I didn't get her name, but let's check this out. And I want to get everybody's honest opinion of how Chris Smith handled this. So y'all listen up. This is a couple of minute exchange here, but here we go.
I got to see this because somebody messaged me and said, "Oh, Chris was rude again." And I'm like, "What? Come
Let's
on,
watch it and then give an objective opinion, whether you're for or against the chickens." But here we go. Now, so I skipped ahead just a couple of minutes, so they've already moved on to something else.
Mr. President.
Can I have a comment
Is it about water?
about the chickens?
No,
Oh, no,
ma'am,
ma'am,
we've
that's
already
over.
moved past that issue.
So what is it? I'm hard of hearing and I didn't hear.
It
Wait a
failed.
minute. I know
It
her.
failed.
Yes, ma'am.
What is
Who is she?
I know her.
I didn't get her name. I don't think she ever said it in here. Maybe, and I don't know her, so maybe somebody knows her in the comments. All right, let's play this.
what does that mean?
That chickens are still going to be illegal inside city limits.
It says what?
That chickens are still going to be illegal out inside city limits.
Well,
So-
number one, I have chickens.
Ma'am, we've already voted
I
on
don't
this.
care. I have to say what I want to
Ma'am,
say.
we have already voted on this. You had
No,
an
I didn't
opportunity to
hear.
public comment.
Can I talk?
Ma'am, we have got to move on to other business. It failed on a vote of 5-2. We had it open for public comment. We waited and let everybody who wanted to speak.
Didn't hear that. I'm hard of hearing.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, we're talking about water rates. We've moved past the
And
chickens.
number one, y'all got the microphones in front of you, but you never use the microphones for us people down here that are
Ma'am,
hard of
ma'am.
hearing can't hear you.
Ma'am, we've moved past the chickens.
Okay, what are we going to talk about now? I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Ma'am, we are taking a vote on adopting an ordinance to adjust the water rates on fire hydrants and mobile meters. Do you have a comment on that? We can hear your comment on that.
On what?
On water rates for fire hydrants and mobile meters. If you have a comment on that, we'll listen to your comment on that, but we've already moved past the chickens.
So what are you going to do about my chickens?
Ma'am, we're not doing anything about your chickens. This ordinance did not pass, so chickens are now illegal or remain illegal inside of Bossier city limits.
It's too bad y'all don't have more
Ma'am,
to take
we have
care
moved
of
past
than
the
to worry
chicken.
about chickens.
We have moved past the chickens. Please have a seat.
Okay, let's talk about dogs.
Ma'am, we have moved past the chickens. Please have a seat.
All right. So I'm going to stop it right there. I want your honest opinion, then I'll give mine.
Well, here I got a couple of observations. Had it been the previous council, she would have been frog marched out by the marshals.
Oh, yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I agree. They frog marched Colonel Crockett and Miss Alice Boyer.
They would have frog marched her out.
Right.
So from that standpoint, Chris exercised as much patience as I think that he possibly could. Um, I don't, she articulated that she couldn't hear and she maybe didn't hear the portion where she had the opportunity to speak. Um, you know, that may have been legit. It may have not been legit. I don't know. I can't say. That's a tough situation. It's a tough situation as leading a meeting and having the obligation of giving everybody the opportunity to speak. And you've done conducted that business, and then she brings that up there. But what maybe Ron Haygood's right. Just let her say what she wanted to say, but I don't know that she knew what she wanted to say.
All right, so let me give you my opinion. So I was giving Chris Smith a hard time earlier over the $100 fee. I'm actually going to defend him here because if you listen to the very first part of that interchange, he was very composed, very, I'll say soft-spoken, trying to be eloquent and professional about it. I understand she's, at least older than I am, and apparently hard of hearing. But what we didn't see, that's actually, you can see it in the video from earlier, is her and another lady entering the meeting late. And so they probably didn't realize it was like right in the middle of talking about the chickens. And they probably didn't realize that the chicken conversation ordinance was going on. But, I'm going to give him a little credit here. He did rap the gavel at her, but I think it was more to get her attention. And the problem is, I don't disagree with Haygood, humor her maybe and let her talk. But the problem is, if he lets her do that, then he's got to let me or Duke come up there the next time we want to talk and it's on a different subject. I'm going to remind him of letting this lady come up and talk. So he's got a problem and a quandary there. So I'm certainly not carrying any water for Chris Smith because I give him a hard time frequently about a few different things. But I think overall he did a pretty good job here considering he didn't call the marshals on her. And eventually she got the message that they were moving on from the chickens. I mean, you heard all of them in that initial interchange say the same thing. So
yeah,
that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the way that this happened or what have you. And look, I would hate to have to be in Chris's position to have to. I hate to say be rude, but just you've got to conduct the meeting and you've got to be orderly and you got to move forward. And you make a valid point. I mean, if he gives grace to somebody and then you show up, I mean, you're going to take it, or Wes Marriott, you'll take the example of
and run
a million
with it.
miles.
Yeah.
And exploit it.
Right.
So
look, it's going both ways in the comments, and I see both sides of it. Don't get me wrong. I wish they could let everybody that wanted to talk about whatever subject get up there and speak, especially from a freedom of speech standpoint. But I don't think he was rude. He was very nice and professional about it. He progressively got firmer after telling her multiple times that they had already talked about the chickens, that was a done deal. She could take it up with her city councilman, is what I would have said. That's the only thing I could add to his dialogue with her. So I'm not going to give him too much of a hard time on that. I do see both sides, but look, I actually got to side with Chris right there. All right. So Haygood says he was rattled for a few minutes after banging that gavel. You can hear it in his voice. Yeah, he was. Look, I'm glad I'm not in his position because I probably wouldn't have been quite as nice. But I'm sure he can speak for himself, but I'm sure he was more rattled that he was put in the position of having to do that.
Yeah, and I wonder. I mean, I've never seen her speak before. I wonder who put her up to speaking or who told her to get up there and speak.
I don't know. I mean, obviously she's got chickens, or I think she kind of quasi admitted that, and maybe she lives in the city limits. I don't really know. All right, so somewhat related to all this chicken shenanigans, I would like to play this special video that Colonel Crockett sent us. Did you know that he's a poet?
A poet? I had no idea.
He's a poet, and we didn't know it. All right, so here we go. Let's see here. Hold on just a second. All right. So this was sent in by Colonel Crockett. Here we go. Oh, not that one. He's not the cockroach of the week. Hold on. Not that one. Let me get back. Here we go. All right.
I found that apparently there's a martyr. This is Henna to my left. She was a martyr for District 5's cause. She must have heard what the council was trying to do, and the stress just killed her. So anyway, she left a poem, and I want to read it to you. It says, I was alive in District 5. The council cocks, struts, and crows in District 5 where tax weeds grow. Maggio claims to guard public hens. He feeds rats and plays in politics den. Dead hens and politicians will go to freeze in his store, make promises unkept. The store he tends, not rich and grand, brings visions of a just and better land. Oh, Maggio, my noise is faint, my scratches few. The cats in 5, unhurted and unleashed. The dogs in 5 drop large doo-doo. Both fill yards with great PU. My feathered sisters want freedom now to lay eggs, eat grubs, and frolic around. We feed our friends and don't ask much. Too late for me, you made me plucked. I was alive in District 5. My family loved me. I laid my hens where bugs abound. I rooted and pecked and quietly cackled. Then Maggio turned me in, a guilty hen. So anyway, Henna is survived by Helen, Hazen, and Henley. Thank you.
Did you plug that rooster in there?
Yes, I did.
That's not a city rooster, by the way. Just wanted y'all to know.
I don't have much more to say. Jeffrey Sadow says, every time you say at the beginning and the start of a show you don't have much to talk about, he always braces himself for a 2-hour minimum. So, look, I hope y'all enjoyed that little poem and ode to chickens that the Colonel blessed us with or graced us with.
So Rex, we had a viewer that sent us a recommendation of a T-shirt that we need to propose publicly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do a little screen switching around here, and let me see. They sent us a picture of it, right?
Yeah. And if particularly if any councilmen are interested in one of these shirts, we'll give them a discount for sure.
Free shirts to anybody that wears that to the next city council meeting. I'll offer a discount code.
You take them right. That's all I got. Go Tigers.
I agree. All right. We appreciate everybody watching and laughing and having a good time because we didn't have a whole lot to talk about except for apparently chickens. We appreciate everybody that watches, likes, and shares our content. And I guess I'll agree with you. Go Tigers, go Landry, pick a coach, do whatever you're going to do. Take us out of here, Mr. Lowry.
Y'all get y'all some parrots. I mean, look, or get you some chickens that identify as parrots. That's all you got to do.